Okay, so I've started to put my new swivel seat base in for the driver's side. This one didn't have it originally because there was a sofa here and the driver's seat used to foul it as it turned round, so I've decided that I want both seats to swivel. It makes sense. Just been to the Cabin and Caravan in Motorhome show, and it's interesting how they get round a table between the two seats, and I'll come on to that in a later video. Anyway, point being, this is actually not that hard to do. It's a little bit fiddly if you take it, but you've got to take the right steps. So just to show you, I've undone the clamp, which prevents the whole thing spinning around. I've taken all the bolts out round here. Just wanted to save time on the video. This next bit is a plate. Now, I expected there to be millions and millions of ball bearings in here, but as you can see, there's just these nylon slip plates in there, which is okay. Now, the reason I did that is twofold. One, because I wanted to mark out the holes for the anchors. I've drilled all the holes through now in the battery box, making sure that I don't drill through the battery. The next step was to take this big plate and offer it up to the underside of here, mark the holes and drill the wood, and this is the base that the seat itself sits on, because on my model there's two different heights of runner. The only thing I had to do to it was cut the square hole in the front, and all I've done is I've used that adhesive glue, the one for fabrics that goes on there, and it seems to come out alright. It's a bit dirty at the moment because of all the sawdust, but nothing that a good hoover won't sort out. So reverse process. Obviously I've got to put the big plate back on. As you can see, that just sits in there. Take the fixing plate, okay, and making sure you've got it the right way around. My one's that way around because I remember the grip going to the front there. Make sure those holes line up. That's most important, because if it doesn't, it won't lock. Okay, and then all I've got to do is to put all the screws back in here. Fortunately, these bolt holes here are already threaded. They've got a nut welded on the other side, and the reason that's so important is because when this base goes back on like that, as you can see, the bolt hole's already there. Screw the bolt hole into the bottom plate, and then just put the seat on. The edges for the bolts here are outside the parameter of the base, so they're easy to get to, and just bolt the whole thing up. It should look pretty good. Okay, so this is the plate now fitted in place. As you can see, I've put the locking mechanism on. It's only held in by 2 bolts, and you see if I press that down now, this just swivels round. You can see also I've put the 4 mounting bolts for the wooden plate I showed earlier, and there's the 8 bolts in there, 1 and 2 in each corner, so that's going to hold it rock solid. There's absolutely no movement in there at all. The mechanism works well, so if I push this back, you'll see it click into place, he says, like that, with a very loud snap, and that locks it secure. There's nothing there. Always good to test your bolts before you go too far. Make sure they actually fit in the hole. I've been bitten like this before, where you've ordered something online and it's turned up with the wrong type of threads, and there's many types of threads out there, so always check. Lucky enough for me, these are metric, so these are 10mm bolts going in here. So all that now remains is to take all these out and offer the plate up itself. So I'll just put this down there. This is one of the few times I actually get to do this one-handed. It's very hard in here to mount a camera so that I can show actually how I did it. Right, so there's the base. That goes on top there. As you can see, there's plenty of room for the mechanism to operate. All I've got to do now is take these bolts and somehow, he says, with a wing and a prayer, try and line these up with the hole. Now, before I do that, the one thing I do have to do, and I've got some down here, is these, because I don't want to tear the fabric on the top here. I've got these standard plain washers and that. All that allows it to do is it allows the heads to spin round on the bolts. So once you put that in there, that will go around. It's a very snug fit, so I'm going to have to draw these out a little bit bigger, and that's fine, don't have a problem with that. And then I can go ahead and bolt this down onto the plate, ready for the chair to sit on top of these outriggers. Just show you what it looks like from underneath. You can see, as I said previously, the actual plate, the universal plate that they sell online, isn't as wide as my chair, so this top bit was made by the previous owner, did a good job on that. It's nice, it's 20mm thick ply, with a couple of pine battens that have been covered in that 4-way stretch carpet. So once it's cleaned, obviously hoovering up, then that'll look good. Okay, so back again. As you can see from the dashboard, the new old dashboard, I've literally resprayed it using this paint, which is for plastic chairs, as you can see. You have to agree that that's gone pretty well. All of the wiring is now done. I now have some override switches there in the dashboard, which means I can manually turn on both fans. I've got one there for the stereo to turn that on and off, because it's now fed directly from the old cigarette lighter, and the rear view camera, which also doubles up as the rear view mirror. For some weird reason they put those in. Anyway, all I've got left to do now is to put the stereo back in, and the front display for the heater panel, which I've repainted. Just to let you know also, the door cards, which I said I was replacing, as you can see from this side, we've replaced this one, and you can see that is looking rather good. Everything's been painted black apart from the indicators, and you can get an idea of just how old the brown colour looked compared to this, lovely satin black. Now here's one of the door cards that I've got in here with me. They're very easy to do. If you want to replace your door cards, ours were a little bit weather worn. I mean, they're 38 years old, so we decided to go for some marine ply in there. It's a little bit heavier, but it's going to last a lot longer. As you can see, we've covered it in this membrane to keep it waterproof from the outside air, because that is vented to the outside. And what the wife has done, very nice job she's done too, is cover it. The key point to this is, when you're doing this, if you decide to do this, you need to mark out where all the holes are, and I'll just turn this back over so you can see we've replaced all of these little plugs. You can buy these on the internet, they're pretty cheap. You get a pack of them. This is all they are. These are the original ones. They're about £5 for a pack of 20, so there's no point in just putting the old ones back in. You might as well replace them all new, and that's it. So I've just got this one to put on now, and then I've got to start thinking about the overhead. Right, just a quick one now. This top deck was covered with a very nice carpet, courtesy of the previous owner, but what I've also decided to do is to put this trim on. Now all this is a standard, I think it's 20mm or 15mm wide L-shaped aluminium piece. All I've done with this is I've heated it up. I made a template to go around this corner. You can see the old red stuff that we'll be cutting out, but just to make this look really nice, heated it up, used the template, a nice thick piece of plywood, to bend it. It does bend, you have to be really careful. Always use thick leather gloves when you do it, because it gets real hot. I used a butane yellow canister thing just to heat a section like this, bend it gently over the plywood, and then what I've done is I've actually screwed it down going along, just to make sure it all goes in. As you see, one length has done pretty much all of it. I've got a small infill to do here, but to be honest with you, I mean, if you look at it like that, it looks pretty damn good as it is. Now that's done, we can go ahead and put the sponge cover back over this, and that's the same colour as the door cards, and then all we got to do is the headliner bit to make this cabin complete. It's turned out rather well. It's taken a good few weeks to do this. There were a number of problems with the wiring inside this beast, and as you can see, just having a look here, you can see now I've got the video feed and the power feed for the rear view. I've got the hands-free microphone, which came actually with the stereo, but it was never run in. It was mounted on top of the dashboard down there. And just as a quickie, because this has come up, 12 volt. Sorry, this is fed off 12 volts USB, gives off your 5 volts, and it lights up. I've got a little plugged out, a little switch I've got to glue in here, but just to show you, that is actually on. As you can see, the light comes on and it goes off. That's fed from up here via a fuse. That's permanently on, so I've now got the choice of a proper 12 volt cigarette feed for the sat nav, or if I want to charge the phones, I've got plenty of space. I've got to put some non-slip mats on here for when we're driving along. You can just charge your phone up off the vehicle battery. When we're actually stationary, we've got these, and if we've got the 240 volt hookup, we've got these live as well. These are 2.1 amp USB ports in there. They look rather nice, and yeah, it's starting to come together. Hopefully we'll get this beast out. Fired it up yesterday just to let you know, and the fans, the new fans that I've put in, have worked really well. There is a way of testing the secondary fan. If you pull the fuse out, and let me just go in here, you can see the fuse panel is now in, and if I open this up, you can see the new style fuses here. If you want to test fan number 2, you can pull out number 1 fuse, and that disables the first fan. Now that sounds a bit crazy. What it means is that the engine does get over to 92 degrees Celsius, and the second fan kicks in. It's useful to know this because if you've ever had overheating problems in this is one way of testing it. The get out of jail free that people have for hot wiring their fans to make them run just to get them home is all well and good, but that is also the reason I've put 2 manual overrides, so I can override both fans if it starts to get hot. This old lady did it to us twice down a motorway, and I can tell you now, pulling over on a motorway when you're at 130 degrees Celsius on your temperature gauge is scary. So that's my get out of jail. If I see it heading north of 90 seriously, then I can manually override it and sort it out, get to a lay-by as quick as possible and sort it out that way. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'll catch up with you on the next one. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.